Well, guys, the best sitcom cartoon show that we have got of recent has ended. It is disappointing that it concluded very abruptly, but if you did listen to the reasons as to why, it was completely fair that the quality of this show from start to finish needed to be kept the same, if not better. Hello everyone, it's the one and only DS. I am back with another commentary video, and today I will be reviewing The Last of the Smiling Friends. Zach Hadel and Michael Cusack, the creators of this series, released their final 2 episodes of Season 3 last Sunday and has signed off on it, moving on to other future projects while still being in cooperation. Episodes 9 and 10 respectively are titled Friendbot and Charlie's Uncle Dies and Doesn't Come Back, which doesn't sound like it sets up a true finale, but given the circumstances, at least we were given 2 final looks of our beloved characters doing what they can to make people smile. And the elements that make the show peak are still there. Let's talk about them both today. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, share this out with your friends and family, and let's begin. Starting off Friendbot, Mr. Boss assigns Pim and Charlie to help a fat ass who is heavily dependent on a robot to make it do everyday tasks inside his RV. From the guy's first moments, he acts like a total piece of shit and exactly how you would picture a locale. Imagine Wings, Boogie, and Kid Behind the Camera smushed into one, and you got this huge asshole. He gets agitated to a point that he dies of a heart attack, and Pim and Charlie take Friendbot back to headquarters after seeing what it is capable of, which benefited the smiling friends for the time being. Alan is able to finish work rapidly and make spare time with his paintings. Mr. Boss has skyrocketing investments, and Charlie, who acts just like the red fat ass at almost the end of the episode, he just lays down doing nothing. Pim is the only one that does not want Friendbot to stick around to help, and he wants to do the work for himself, which I appreciate his character for. He loves doing the job he's dedicated to, which requires passionate human interaction. Friendbot, on the other hand, does not possess that, despite it having all the solutions to everyone else's problems. I feel like this episode specifically was going with the exact approach of artificial intelligence taking over people's jobs, which is a recent outlook that anyone who works like me should keep in mind. It's scary, and we do not always need AI in our lives. Overdependence on it loses people's ability to critically think, make one's own decisions when push comes to shove, and it does not develop these personal, genuine conversations like with customers in need of service. Yes, AI is faster, smarter, and reduces error, but we need to maintain our independent knowledge and skills, which I applaud Smiling Friends for putting out. Anyways, Friendbot would tell Pim that he can make everybody happy, which tempts Pim, and later at nighttime he wanted to make the call, but everyone else wanted to use the robot for themselves, even Mr. Boss naked with a disgusting fetish for Friendbot. Gleb unplugs the robot, the rest of the gang stops fighting, and the surprising reveal comes out that the Friendbot itself was not actually 100% technology, but in stereotypical fashion, hiding inside was an Indian person being in costume, scamming others. That was fucking hilarious. Reminds me of the South Park episode with Eric Cartman disguised as Osimo to deceive Butters into having a robotic friend. But that is it from the Friendbot episode. I really like their shock value in the end, something this series has delivered so impressively on throughout, and of course the indirect message which I talked about earlier. That is something worth remembering for the next few years. Also, the post-credit scene was nice to watch with Charlie losing the weight he gained, but his ego has not changed, so yeah. Now on to the very last episode with us getting our first look at Charlie's uncle, who is a piece of shit too, but not all the way. I'll get into that in a moment. He is this typical argumentative, stubborn, alcoholic, middle-aged man that is of Uncle Bilbert. By the way, I've just noticed this, but one thing that Pim and Charlie have in common, now that I've seen this finale, both of them have dysfunctional families. Remember the pilot, Desmond's Big Day Out?
I want you to shut the f*** up, woman! I was down in the bloody mines for 14 hours today! You tell me to shut up!
Anyways, he tells Pim and Charlie that he's got one day to live, so they help him make the most out of it. Meanwhile, Alan goes out on a date and he scores with a very lovely woman. Not joking. Honestly, had my doubts he would turn out to be straight after that whole thing with Mr. Boss in the nature episode. If you know, you know. But Alan, man, when I got past that scene, I was like, he got himself a keeper. I was only like that at first watch, but the immediate turn of events, I will also explain later. Pim and Charlie help Uncle Bilbert get his medicine, take him out to a strip club, and then blow money on 3D character battles that would eventually get all of them in the can for illegally gambling on that. While in prison, Uncle Bilbert would reveal that he was not actually dying, and this was all just a plan for the fun of it, agitating Pim and Charlie. Pim does stand up for Charlie, telling his uncle that Charlie's the only person that cares for him when no one else does, offending him in this sort of way because he was being defiant. He would then attempt to choke Pim to death, enabling Charlie to land an aggressive hit on him, which would in turn make him proud of Charlie. For some reason, he was teasing to try to make Charlie tough for God knows how long, and it works. I'll give him that, but I thought he was going to have no redemption for how much he is a burden to others. Everything gets resolved, they hug it out, Pim and Charlie do get released, but not Uncle Bilbert, because this police officer reveals to the two that he was a wanted sex criminal for 20 years. I don't want to know what kind of shit he's done in the past, and I'm just glad that it's that. I thought he was going to serve more jail time, mainly for spinning the guard's face with acid, but that wasn't the case. And now I'm wondering, what if Charlie can be able to do the same thing that his uncle can do because of genetics? But we won't ever see more of the lore expanded within the Smiling Friends universe after this. The questions are left unanswered. In the end, Pim and Charlie head to the boardwalk with Uncle Bilbert's dog, who charges at Alan's girlfriend's face, only for her to be revealed to be the landlord. The twist of the year, folks. And if you remember the great Alan episode from season 2, you will recall why he's most likely doing this in the first place.
I was just wondering if you wanted to hang out with me and smoke weed and fill our bellies with diet soda and play Burnout Revenge for the PS2.
And that would be the last surprise we would get out of all of Smiling Friends, unfortunately. The final post-credits scene is Mr. Boss pranking Charlie with an electric shock, then going insane all around the room, and that is it. Wow, what a ride. Smiling Friends has been on the air for 6 whole years, and I cannot believe it is ending while it's still at its peak. They were originally renewed for a season 4 and 5, but like the creators explained, the fatigue can make any series turn to shit, if not proper and careful about it. You don't want to end in the same route as SpongeBob, Simpsons, or Family Guy. Michael and Zach deserve the tons of support that they got for what they built out of this show. Their unmatched creativity in humor, action, wild moments, character development, and especially relatable conversations, which is what they did best with throughout the series. Those are the reasons why the Smiling Friends are the talk of cartoon shows in this decade. One episode I adore from season 3 is called Squim Returns, where they use traditional animation to design Squim. The movement, expressiveness, and the amount of care put into him is something I commend the show for doing, testing various ideas. Squim reminds cartoon fans of the golden era with 2D art, something studios like Disney should get back to creating instead of banking on stupid live-action remakes and pointless sequels. But I digress. Overall, Smiling Friends has been an entertaining watch, and the very last episodes, which has kept the balance of the series' quality, I give it 2 thumbs up. Not one episode has been disappointing for me. Great fucking work. That is going to be it for me, everybody. Thank you very much for watching my review on Friendbot and Charlie's Uncle. Let me know your thoughts about those episodes in the comments, and anything else you would like to add about the show, feel free to drop them as well. Peace out, everybody, and have yourself a great day. Stay blessed.